Welcome to Watch the Booker Man and to the second episode of this Kurt Angle Heroes of Wrestling tour series. This is the second show of 8 shows that I've got planned for this. We're going all around Australia with the WWE's recently released Superstars, the people who were let go of when WWE made their cutbacks in April of 2020. The timeline has moved on to January 2021. Travel is allowed, shows are back up and running, and we're here with Kurt Angle's Heroes of Wrestling. The last show didn't do too well, as you can see. It got a 559 people in attendance, and I got a note after the show that there weren't enough stars on the show. I am negotiating with a couple of people who I think should help that, but there's not a lot of big names out there who I think reasonably fit in with the promotion, so I'll have to see, maybe take suggestions of who could possibly join this tour and help us get better ratings first and foremost, and to help with the issue of the lack of star quality that we have on the roster. And the show begins with Kurt Angle coming out to cut a promo. This is going to be a recurring segment. We've paid him to put his name to the shows. He's not going to be wrestling, so it's the least he can do. Come out, hype the crowd up with a decent segment. It's not great, obviously, but Kurt Angle, a star in this segment. He is interrupted, which again, I think every time he comes out, he's going to be interrupted to set up something for the show. Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis come out. They talk about their time working under Kurt Angle in the WWE when he was the Raw general manager, and they run down his skills. They say he couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery sort of thing, and this show would be better served if Maria Kanellis was in charge. Kurt Angle says that that isn't the case. This is Kurt Angle's Heroes of Wrestling, and tonight, Mike Bennett, despite getting himself involved with pretty much everybody last week, he's just going to be in one match against one man, Rusev, in the main event. So I think that's going to be a better main event than the last show, but Mike Bennett was underwhelming and struggled when going off script. It went on too long. I think, did I do 7 minutes? So we've got the WWE's product, so I didn't think a 7-minute segment would be too bad, but I suppose it's because the people involved aren't very good, maybe, or maybe it's because it's on an event and not a television show. But yeah, a lot of negatives obviously, and it's not really a very good rated segment. Moving into the opening match of the night, and it's a follow-up from the last show. It's only 2 nights from the last show, but they're all being aired on our network, so there's going to be some sort of storyline continuity despite them being separate shows all around the country. This one is again in New South Wales, as the first one was, but a match with terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. I think I said it as a comedy. Oh no, it was only I think I meant to put this as a comedy match, but it's only storytelling. Gets a 26 rating, which again is disappointing, but I'm not surprised. Aiden English with a 24, Rockstar Spud with a 26, and it is Rockstar Spud who wins, using the rope for leverage, but a little bit of cheating. Aiden English was on commentary for the first show. Obviously he's not on commentary tonight. Instead it is Ethan Carter who is injured with that concussion, as I found out during the course of the last show. I didn't know that beforehand, but he's going to be commentating tonight with the Australian commentator that I brought in, what's she called, Scarlett Harris. Yeah, it's a poor opening match and probably a sign of things to come if we're honest, but Rockstar Spud picks up a win against Aiden English because Aiden English is going to be a commentator for most of the tour, so it doesn't really matter. Rusev comes down and runs off Rockstar Spud after the match, obviously wanting justice for the fact that he cheated Aiden English out. He helps his Rusev Day partner to his feet and cuts a promo on Mike Bennett, who he will face in the main event. It's a poor segment. We are really building Rusev as the figurehead. I've not said it in the game, but he is the guy we're building the shows around because I think he's by far our most popular in-ring competitor, but a 26 rating for his promo isn't very good. I think it was rated on the other guy's overness as well, so that will bring it down, but he did not do well without a script there. 3-minute promo, Rusev improvising badly, but a couple of bonuses, so poor segment, isn't it? Kurt Hawkins as the road agent, another oversight. I'm pretty sure Kurt Hawkins isn't the road agent for anything else on the rest of the show because I did uncheck that box while booking this show, but I think I'd done it too late, so this is in there. It's another not very good match. Chris Hero v Lio Rush I think would have a good match in reality. I think the high-flying style of Lio Rush evading and being too quick for Chris Hero, but Hero obviously being stronger and more experienced. Hero picks up the win with a rolling elbow in 10 minutes and 26. Last week, Lio Rush aligned himself with Mike Bennett. Hero and Bennett had a little bit of a interaction as well. Hero knocking Bennett out with the rolling elbow. So that's the reason for this match, and we see the booking details. A 10-minute match, penalised by Kurt Hawkins, which, again, if I'd had Kurt Angle maybe as the road agent, it probably would have done better. A little bit disappointing. It was done to a hot crowd. So segment got a rating for being done to a hot crowd, non-existent crowd heat. So mixed messaging there. After the match, Chris Hero takes a microphone when Rusev's done with Bennett. He's going to fight him next on the next show of the tour, so that's probably going to be a singles match, or we might find Hero a partner and do Lio Rush and Mike Bennett versus Hero and somebody else. Not decided yet, but we'll see. He did a masterful job of improvising, and that is a 37 rated segment, so that's actually pretty good compared to what we're getting, and gains heat to their storyline. Prior to the third match of the night, we get a promo from Gallows and Anderson, and we've just not scripted them. They both did a masterful job of improvising, but the idea is also that it's a pre-recorded segment, so not really improvising, but I didn't want to script them, because obviously these two are, as I said in the last show, charismatic, entertaining guys, and they run down the rivals and just have a bit of fun like they would. They've got very defined personas, so I don't really need to explain that. The Good Brothers running down, mocking a little bit, but in a light-hearted, friendly way, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, who they will face, not the third match, I think it's the fourth match, which is the end of the first hour. Crazy Mary Dobson then defeats Candy Lee. We've brought her in again as a local talent. Not a very good match. Obviously, Candy Lee has more overness in Australia than Crazy Mary Dobson, it seems, so that's the explanation for why she gets a better rating, but it is another win for Crazy Mary Dobson, who is now 2-0 on the Kurt Angle Heroes of Wrestling Tour. After the match, Dobson disrespectfully throws Candy Lee to the outside, washing her hands of it kind of, because Candy Lee won't be on the rest of the tour. We're going to be in different regions and she won't be a local talent. I'm probably going to bring in local talents all the way around the tour, but it's a poor rated segment, as you'd expect from these two, who, like most people, aren't very over in the region that we're booking in. A decent reaction for this match, but terrible wrestling, which surprises me considering it's two very, very strong tag teams. But Gallows and Anderson beat Hawkins and Ryder and show a little bit of a heel edge. I'm sure I put a tainted win as one of the notes for this. So not a tainted win, but perhaps they were more aggressive in the mannerisms. We're slowly sort of trying to turn Gallows and Anderson into heels. They're probably not going to get booed because they're Bullet Club OC guys, but we want their characters to have a bit more of an edge. A 35 isn't actually too bad for this match, although I think it is still an E+ in the old way, so I mean, it's certainly not great, but it's better than what we've had so far on the show, and a lot of negatives there. I think there's a handful of positives, but a hell of a lot of negatives, as is obviously going to be the case for pretty much everything that we do on this show. And that ends the first hour, going into the second hour, which is a sent-in promo which appears on the big screen. Tennille Dashwood sends in a promo from a beach. She's been on vacation enjoying herself, but she is joining the tour at the next location. Obviously that isn't a very good thing for the fans in attendance, who probably like to see their home country ex-WWE star in action. But for those watching and for those potentially buying tickets for the next location show, then that is obviously nice to hype up for the next show. A girl next door gimmick probably isn't what I would have gone for, but an adequate rating for the gimmick, and did a masterful job of improvising, and it's a decent promo from her. I probably would have hoped for a little bit better, but I don't know how over she is. I know she's Australian, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to be a huge star. As we go into the fifth match of the night, and Madison Eagles defeats Deonna Purrazzo and Erica Reed in 10 minutes 11. Madison Eagles pinning Erica Reed. These two both based in Australia, so I thought it'd be nice to pad out our roster with some more native people. Madison Eagles particularly standing out there. I think that's actually the best match rating we've seen so far of anybody on this tour, so really, really good from Madison Eagles, and probably somebody who I'm going to continue to use throughout. Erica Reed, not great, like Deonna, not doing particularly well, but two good, very good gimmick ratings there actually. Just a regular rated match. A lot of bonuses from Madison Eagles, a few bonuses for Erica Reed, penalised for Deonna, and at least we know we can rely on Madison Eagles to put in some good performances throughout this tour. Maybe a match between her and Tennille Dashwood is something to build to, which I think could probably be the best match of the entire thing, maybe even main event one of the shows. We then get a promo from Rhino and Heath Slater. On the last show, Rhino made a surprise appearance, saving Heath Slater from a 2-on-1 attack from Mike Bennett and Lio Rush, who they'll probably have a match with later on in the tour. But Rhino just saying he had to come out, he had to join the tour and have Heath Slater's back. They go way back. They won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships back in 2016. And since Heath's got so many kids to provide for, and after the tough times that he's been all over the world, they want the winner's purse for tonight's show. And they get that, picking up a victory over the Colons. This is maybe a match that happened on SmackDown in 2016. Can't remember. Again, similar ratings. I'm not going to go on about the individual ratings too much because we know they're all going to be crap, but both teams showing excellent chemistry there. Dirt sheet is what it is, it's always the same, and it pretty much a lot of notes there, too many notes to go through, but it's a decent-ish match. Again, the standards that I'm expecting have significantly dropped. So anything that isn't in the 20s is going to be called decent, and anything above 40 is going to blow me away. They stand tall, celebrate with the fans, shaking hands with everybody, enjoying themselves. Heath Slater and Rhino, two band favourite figures, and hopefully we can continue to get them over. I don't know if I'm going to do titles on this tour. I was thinking about having a big ladder match for a Heroes of Wrestling Championship, maybe something to do with Kurt Angle, maybe a gold medal type thing, but that would come further down on the tour, and I don't know if to do something similar for the tag team titles. Again, I've not decided yet, but there is a solid tag team division in this company. I'd say at least half the roster are in tag teams, so it is something to think about and consider. No Way Jose then defeats Eric Rowan, perhaps a surprise, and it was a terrible, terrible match, and probably the wrong decision of winner looking at those ratings. Eric Young tried to get involved. He's done a lot of road agenting work on this show, so I didn't put him in a match because I thought he's earned his money by road agent in a few segments and a few matches. His involvement is just trying to help Eric Rowan and failing. This allows No Way Jose to roll up Eric Rowan and pick up, I'd say, a surprising victory there. After the match, No Way Jose is attacked by Insanity, Eric Young and Eric Rowan. It's a 13 rated segment, even though it involves Rusev, who makes the save and comes out. He's ready for the main event. I just wanted to transition quickly from this into the main event, and I thought bringing Rusev out again, getting, I thought, another boost to the ratings. Obviously his overness I've vastly overestimated, but he's in the ring then, ready for the main event. Mike Bennett mocks Rusev, the fact that his wife left him. We're keeping that storyline going, even though it's a completely different promotion. She's over on the other side of the world with her new husband, who she's in love with, and Rusev is out here sharing rooms and top and tailing with Aiden English. Unlike them, who had not only Maria and Mike flown out, but their kids have flown out. They've got nanny services. They've had the red carpet rolled out for them on this tour, while Rusev sat in a cramped up hotel room listening to Aiden English sing in the shower. As Bennett's promo continues, he is cut off by Mick Foley, who he is not happy to see. What does this old guy want? Foley says that he's donning the black and white stripes once more because he is the special guest referee in the main event, and he's going to ensure that Maria can't get involved and screw Rusev out in this match. Maria doing well without a script, Mike Bennett not doing well without a script. Mick Foley, I don't think I rated on entertainment because he didn't say anything, but that's pretty stupid. Mick Foley, one of the best promos of all time, and I just rate him on overness. A 37 rate segment. I really think that could have been better if we had Mick Foley cutting a promo as well as those two. And it's again a poor main event, up from the Rusev v Drake Maverick match, but not very good. Rusev with a 38, which is pleasing. He is definitely, of the people on the roster, he is the best of a bad bunch, apart from Madison Eagles, who is only going to get better, hopefully, throughout the rest of the tour. Mike Bennett with a 26, got the crowd buzzing. Obviously, with Ethan Carter on commentary, he's been throwing barbs at Rusev and all the people he doesn't like all night, but particularly in this match, he is right behind Mike Bennett, wanting him to pick up the win. The match got the crowd buzzing because slim pickings in it. This is probably decent compared to what they've been conditioned to see from this show. But yeah, Rusev hits the bullplex, which I don't actually know what that move is. He's not used that for a long time. Rusev picks up the victory and stands tall at the end of the night. Mick Foley obviously doing a great job at calling things right down the line, but he does show a little bit of happiness to see Rusev win after the match, raising his hand. Obviously Mike and Maria insulted Mick Foley, so he has every right to enjoy the fact that Rusev won. The two embrace in the ring to send the fans home happy, although obviously ratings wise they are not going to be happy. I don't think actually fans would be that. I mean, if you've come to a show that you know is going to involve these people, you're probably going to be happy with what you see. I'm sort of conflating the segment ratings due to overness with how the fans in the building would see it. I think that, I mean, it's not a brilliant show. It's featuring a lot of lower mid-card talent from the WWE, but I do think it's an okay show, and I don't think it's as bad as the game is putting it out. Obviously, that's to do with all different factors that I don't have control over. We don't have enough interesting storylines going on, which is something I will definitely look to build upon and improve. Mike Bennett was slightly overused and the show lost us popularity in one region. I am actually going to give a post-match speech. I'm going to praise Madison Eagles for an absolutely outstanding performance compared to everything else on the show, and Rusev will give a slightly lesser praise to, pointed out as a good example, complimented on a good performance. Nobody else that I can remember, I don't think, deserves any praise, but Hartley Jackson, maybe he's somebody to bring in. He's got decent fundamental skills in his physicals. He's actually a pretty good wrestler. Maybe somebody to look at and consider signing. So that's a good random profile to see as we wait to see what the reaction is and if we've got any emails in the immediate aftermath to this show. So it looks like WWE is... Oh, Scott Dawson's still signed with WWE on this, but fairly accurately, he will be on his way out. So that's interesting. We've got some emails here. A lack of big names again, as I knew. Viewing figures, I should probably double check that against it. But what did the... Yeah, so it's got good feedback again. Obviously, the ratings look bad, but in terms of how small the promotion is, it's probably like an okay show. And I can't find our promotion because I'm on the wrong page. Kurt Angle's Heroes of Wrestling. So the first show... Things are a little bit harder to find at the minute because I'm not used to this screen. Got onto the wrong thing, and show history is what I want. Yeah, so we got 31 both nights. Less people came, so we obviously didn't do a good job. The show was not... Oh, God, I'm an idiot. I think that might be that I set the broadcaster and then went out the game without saving or something, because I do remember setting the broadcaster. That's a disappointment. So nobody actually saw any of that other than the 500 people in the building. But we do have a contract signing. One of the names that I wanted to bring in, handshake agreement, $250 per show. No guarantee that he has to stay, but this guy I think will add some star power to the rest of the shows and will be a very, very good signing. And he will be debuting with the company on the next show.